An agile mind, persistence, and challenging the status quo. Let's rap about it.
This is Bars at Work, where leadership and personal development meets hip hop. I'm Bajoy Phillip.
And I'm Javen Ferrer. Bars stands for dope lyrics. Every episode, we drop bars about a topic.
Then we break them down for motivation and insights that you can apply in your work.
Yeah. So let's jump into these bars.
All right, let's do it.
No shave November. Let's do this. Yeah. No lie, no job. I'm no slouch with these rhymes. He falls, he climbs. I do time in these lines. Bars.
Hey, yes, it was. Yes, it was. Bars. So okay. So break this down. What I'm hearing about is like you falling and climbing and rising and doing time in the bars. What's that all about, man?
Yeah, so you think about change. You think about the ups and downs of change. How when you're leading through change, it's never a constant win. I know exactly what I'm doing. I know exactly how I'm going to get to the next step. When you're navigating change, there's always complexity. There's always ambiguity. And the ups and the downs that I talk about in the first line, really just referencing my own personal experience with change and saying, hey, I have ups, I have downs. And then there's just a little bit of a reference of, spending time in these lines, bars, kind of a double entendre there, talking about being behind bars.
Hey,
spend time in these lines.
Bars,
bars, lines in a jail cell.
Yes, sir.
Bars.
Sir, I got you. Yes, thank you for breaking it down for the professionals who may not be up on the hip hop and the bars. So that's a continual thing. We're gonna have to let them know. All right, let's keep it going.
Yeah.
If they hate, let them hate. I slap face with 2 8s in each place where leaders create.
Yes. I have questions. Break that last piece down. If they hate, let them hate. So like, what? Why is anybody going to hate? Who's hating? Like,
hate. Yeah. This is Bars at Work. Who does hip hop with professional development? We're both senior leaders in our organizations.
Right.
We both have credentials, the academics, but who mixes that with hip hop and the perception that hip hop is something different, not meant for the corporate world, not meant for the professional world, things like that? There's bound to be some change, friction, in just the adoption of something like this. Mm-hmm. And so I was just making it clear, if they hate, let them hate. I slap face with 2 8s. And for those that don't know, a typical verse in a hip hop song is 16 bars. So when I say I slap face with 2 8s, I'm basically saying 2 sets of 8 bars. Bow.
Yo, I was trying to figure out what 2 8s was, and I know it's 16s off. Maybe my math was off. That's hot right there, right? So this niche place where leaders create, it speaks more to what you just said, right? And what we're doing right now, this is definitely a niche or niche place, depending on how you pronounce that, where you're from, where you're at.
Right.
It is a place that we've seen the merging of two worlds for us personally, right? We grew up in a certain culture. Yep. We went to school. We grew up in a certain era of hip hop. And as we grew up, graduated, went out into the workplace, you still have this culture that you take with you, right? Your upbringing, this lens that you view the world in. And so that's the experience that we had, but not only us, it's like we're speaking for a whole generation, right? That experienced that. And now the cool thing about where we are in this niche place is we've been doing this 10, 15, 20 years or so, having families, professional development, and still have this ear for this thing called hip hop.
Right.
The content for us, the content and material has shifted because we've matured and we've gone on in other things in life, but we still like that sound. So we have taken this niche place that we've created, taken that sound and that element, that essence, and merged it with new content that we think our generation, as they become the leaders, the thought leaders, as the baton passes of responsibility in society, they take that, merge it, and it goes to a whole new level of conversation and engagement.
Absolutely. And, the latter part of that line, and like an agile mind is hard to find. You talk about thought leadership. The new world of change requires agility. How do you connect dots between things? How do you merge things? You look at all the great innovations that we experience, our phones, technology, a lot of these products and solutions came from connecting things that weren't supposed to be connected together. Right. And so when we talk about hip hop and professionalism, you know, it was a nod to this idea of agility and being able to innovate by connecting things that shouldn't be connected. But when you do, the impact and the solutions and the new creation that comes out of that is really impactful.